What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Tony Delerme. Thanks for tuning into a brand new episode of Brother Please Hear Me Out. Now, if this is your first time tuning into the show, do me a favor by hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I drop a new video. And also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at tdhiphop media. That is on Twitter at tdhiphop media. And for those of you that have been subscribed to this channel for quite some time now, and you have a love and appreciation for the work that I do on this channel in regards to Nah For Real and Brother Please Hear Me Out, the number one way you can show love to me is by showing love to the Patreon. The link will be pinned in the comment section below. And for $5 a month, that would help put me in position to be able to go independent of YouTube and for TD Hip Hop Media to become an independent media platform. The goal is not to grow big on YouTube. The goal is to grow independent of YouTube. Now, with all that being said, let's get into the topic at hand. And what I wanted to discuss today is going to be a bit of a review of all the things that we discussed last year. And I'm going to start doing this now moving forward, that at the top of every quarter, what I want to do is review what we discussed the previous quarter for those people that might be coming across this show for the first time so that they could be caught up and not lost in the conversation. This is also a good opportunity for those of you who have been subscribed for quite some time now to be able to share this video with your family and friends and get them introduced to the idea and the necessity of our people getting involved in the tech industry. Why do I stress that so much? I stress that so much because in the next 10 years, and I've said this over and over again throughout the last quarter, in the next 10 years, this country, let alone the world, is going to radically change. And it's going to radically change in the way of artificial intelligence, automation, blockchain technology. This world is going to change completely from the way we know it now. And whether or not that change is for better or worse depends on you and not somebody else. By 2030, 30% of black men will lose their jobs to artificial intelligence and automation. I discussed that in episode 7. 30%. That is a huge chunk of people that are going to be losing their jobs. And particularly, it's going to be 30% of black men, like I just stated. That means many households are going to be devastated in the next coming decade. Now, by 2053, the median wealth of black Americans will fall to zero. I repeat, by 2053, the median wealth of black Americans are going or will fall to zero. So understand that economically, as a people, we are on life support and we are getting ready to pass away any decade now. So with that being said, in my humble opinion, the only thing that's going to save us is brothers and sisters bum rushing the tech field, which is wide open right now. We are currently at the dawn of the fourth industrial revolution, and the window is wide open for us to enter into the tech field full force and take advantage of all the opportunities that are ahead of us. Because as of right now, the field of tech is completely wide open. This is something that I've discussed numerous times on numerous episodes. 2.4 million STEM jobs went unfulfilled last year. 2.4 million. Now, understand that STEM jobs don't solely consist of tech-orientated jobs, but 45% of STEM jobs are computer occupations. You understand what I'm saying? And I want to go in on more. I'm going to go in on that more next episode, because in episode 4, when I talked about that, I didn't really do a good job of really breaking down what STEM jobs consist of. But once again, understand 45% of STEM jobs are computer occupations. Now, with that being said, also over the last 3 months, 918,000 IT jobs went unfulfilled. 918,000. Basically, 1 million IT jobs went unfulfilled in the last 3 months. I discussed that in episode 5. The reason that all these jobs are going unfulfilled to the magnitude that they have is because this country did not prepare for how fast of an acceleration we would be entering into the fourth industrial revolution. They had no idea that things would be turning around this quickly and that they would need this much help in order to be able to compete in the new world. So like I said, the field is wide open right now. And these jobs are literally paying hundreds of thousands of dollars, from being a software developer to a blockchain developer. Now, mind you, let's not get things confused. There's a great difference between a software developer and a blockchain developer, and one requires a little bit more education than the other. But that's irrelevant. It shouldn't stop you from pursuing any of the degrees that are necessary in order to take advantage of these positions that are wide open. Also, I almost forgot. Tencent, which is one of the largest tech companies in China, reported that there are only 300,000 artificial intelligence engineers, but millions of artificial intelligence engineers are needed. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm really trying to drive the point to you all how wide open the field of tech is. It is the equivalent of the 1800s, when the wild, wild west was wide open for the taking, when the saying "there's gold in them hills" was the saying of the day. There's gold in them hills. There's plenty of land and gold waiting for you, but all you have to do is make the journey to the west. If you're willing to make that journey, there will be plenty of gold and land waiting for you to take advantage of. The same thing is happening right now within the fourth industrial revolution, which is already going underway. There are literally millions of tech jobs open right now, paying hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're willing to do the work to attain the necessary degrees required to do these jobs. And not all of these jobs require degrees. A good deal of them just require a handful of certificates and some knowledge on computer languages like Python. Once again, I don't want to minimize the effort that's needed in order for you to learn and educate yourself on these things to attain these jobs. I don't want to minimize it and make it seem like it's easy, because it's not. It requires work, and it's going to require a little bit of cash, especially if you're trying to get some of these certificates like the CompTIA A+, and the CompTIA Security Plus, and CompTIA Network Plus. Some of these certificates cost about $300 a pop, but it's well worth the investment when you're talking about changing the trajectory of your life and your family's life forever. Now, let's carry on just for a little bit talking about the educational side of things for a moment. Now, this is just my opinion and what I think and what I feel. You don't have to take it as gospel, but I'll give you this little piece of advice. If you are in your late teens, 18, 19 and whatnot, or in your early 20s, you're an individual who is simply without responsibility. No kids, no wife. You're just a young adult out here trying to figure it out. I would strongly suggest for you to go to school and get a degree in fields such as blockchain development, software development, and whatnot. Go pursue those degrees. The reason I suggest that for you young brothers is because you got time on your side. You got your youth, you got your time, and you got no responsibilities other than taking care of yourself. So you got all the time in the world right now to take 4 years out of your life to do the necessary work in order to get the degrees needed to attain these jobs that are going to pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. What you think you're going to find by way of entertainment, you will not find it. Forget picking up a basketball, forget throwing a football, forget rapping, forget making beats. I'm sick and tired of seeing brothers online trying to be Instagram comedians. Knock it off with all the dancing and the dance moves. Knock it off. Knock it off. That's our Achilles heel. And you're just asking to be replaced by 2030 by artificial intelligence and automation. If that's the route you're going, leave it alone, get into tech. Take 2 to 4 years out of your life to be able to spend the rest of your life living the way you dreamed you could live it. Now let me come to my brothers that are a little bit older. You got some kids, you got a family, you got some responsibilities, you're in your 30s. The route that I would suggest you to take, and the reason I'm suggesting this route is because you, just like myself, I got a grip of responsibilities, and Lord knows at this moment while I'm speaking to you, I can't do 4 years full time in college right now, let alone take on that kind of debt. Brother can barely pay the bills that he got now, just like you. You understand what I'm saying? I am just like you. Lord knows I can't do 4 years in college right now. But what you can do is what I'm doing, and what the good brother Sherrod Martin is doing. I know you're listening, brother. Shout out to you. And that's get your CompTIA A+ certificate. alongside with your CompTIA Networks Plus and your CompTIA Security Plus. Why do you need those certificates? You need those certificates so that you can get an entry-level position at an IT company. That's information technology. I just told you in the last 3 months, 918,000 IT jobs went unfulfilled. If you want to get it on the ground level without a degree, you need those certificates. And if you look at your screen right now, what you have in front of you is called the CompTIA Career Pathway. That section that says core skill certification is what you're going to need in order to get an entry-level position at an IT company. And once you get an entry-level position at an IT company, at that point on, the world is your oyster for you to be able to explore other options within the tech world. Now, hear me clearly. Many people have hopped into the comment section and have spoken to me about the AWS cloud certification. The AWS cloud certification is not for people like you and me who are novices that are trying to get entry-level positions into these companies without a degree. That is not what that is. Just because the AWS cloud certification is cheaper than the CompTIA A+ certification, don't let that fool you into getting an AWS cloud certification. Those are two completely different things and two completely different areas within information technology. Coming in at the ground level via the CompTIA certifications that I just laid out to you, that's entering in the building at the first floor. Getting an AWS cloud certification off the rip without knowing anything else is the equivalent of you taking a ladder, putting it onto a building, and trying to get into the building through the third-story window. But your ladder isn't even tall enough to get through the window, so you got a stick and you're tapping on the window looking for somebody to open it. It ain't happening. It doesn't work like that. You got to walk through the building from the front door on the first floor via the CompTIA certifications. That's how you get in. And once you're in, from that point on, if you continue to look at the career pathway that I have laid out in front of you, you can get into the infrastructure pathway, which consists of Linux Plus, Server Plus, and Cloud Plus. And you also see other pathways such as cybersecurity pathways, as well as professional skills. Once you get into the building on the first floor, you can now even go on to explore other rooms on the first floor, which consist of all of those other pathways that I laid out for you. And also, once you've entered into the building, now you can begin to make the necessary connections and networks, meet people, ask questions to understand what it takes for you to be able to get to the third floor, where an AWS cloud certification will actually work for you and be practical for you so that you can get a job in that area. But you gotta come in through the first floor first. You can't skip levels. You're going over your head with that kind of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? The reason I'm harping on this so much is because I've seen brothers talk about this in the comment section, and respectfully, you don't know what you're talking about. And I say that respectfully. All right? I'm not trying to disrespect nobody, but you don't know what you're talking about. Do a little more due diligence and don't let price fool you. But getting back to the original point of me recommending this, because this is what I'm doing. I'm getting my CompTIA A+ certification. This is for brothers. And mind you, if you're in your 20s or whatever, 18, 19, it doesn't matter. It's okay if you want to go this route. There's nothing wrong with that. But I specifically recommend this route for brothers in my position that, for the most part, our hands are tied. We don't got that much time. And Lord knows we don't got youth on our side. The clock is ticking every day, and the brother's just getting older and older. So I need to get in now and get in relatively fast. And you can get you these certifications within the next 8 to 12 months and be able to change the trajectory of your life forever. Understand, these tech jobs are recession proof. You understand what I'm saying? Recession proof. In the middle of a job slowdown, these tech jobs go unaffected by and large, completely unaffected. So this is the route that we need to be going into if we want to survive America. We have to go in this direction while we still can and while the window is still open. If we don't, we are going to get permanently left behind, and there will be no changing it at all whatsoever. Now, with all that being said, what I want to do is play this clip for you of when I was on the Black Brain Trust a couple weeks ago. I highly recommend you to subscribe to the Black Brain Trust. Go to their YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification as well on their channel. They go live, it seems like about 2-3 times a day, it seems like sometimes. And they have amazing discussions on tech and blockchain technology and all the things that I talk about, because these brothers are actually in the field. And the thing is that they go live, they discuss these things, and they drop the link for you to be able to call up and chat with them live, and they will answer whatever questions that you have for them right then and there on the spot. This is an amazing channel. The brother Sherrod Martin can attest to it. There's so much information that they give on that channel that you can use to change the trajectory of your life within the next 8 to 12 months. So with all that being said, I want to play this clip for you, and I'm playing this clip for you specifically in regards to the AWS cloud certification. And I want you to hear what they have to say about it in regards to you getting that and putting the carriage before the horse. So let me play this for you right now. I want you to all have a great day. Make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at tdhiphop media, and go on and show a little love on a Patreon for your brother. All right.
We're going to have a tech talk tomorrow. So you can show up for that if you're available. But,
if I may interrupt very quickly, I just wanted to ask a real quick question. I just heard you say, Mike, you're going to have a tech talk tomorrow, but I just had a real quick tech question that I'm going to bounce. As it pertains to like entry level certifications, right? When you're talking about CompTIA, A+ and securities and all that good stuff, is it putting the horse before the carriage if you were to jump to get the AWS cloud certification?
Thank you. That's exactly what I posted there. That's exactly what I posted.
My quick answer to that, as somebody who works in cloud, cloud is a bit of a different ballgame. And so they're expecting you to be an SME on it. There is no like help desk for like cloud. Like
that's right.
Cloud is like the next generation, so they're expecting you to be an SME on it. You got to actually perform. Unfortunately.
No, really, he hit it right in the head. I mean, they want you to have some experience on that. It's a slightly different animal, and then you get certified on the. That's a slightly different animal. It's different. Help desk is different, a little easy to get in the cloud.
Well, they're advertising 60 medium salary of 60 an hour with that certification. That's why.
That's if you know what you're doing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what they're banking on. They're banking on that you know what you're doing. That they can leave you alone and you can be self-contained and managed. I didn't look at the links as of yet, but when I go over it tomorrow, I'll definitely be addressing some of these questions tomorrow. All of your questions I'll address them tomorrow.
And that's the thing, as far as getting into the tech game, we want expectations to be real. That's one of the things we want to do is set expectations right. To get into cloud computing and all this stuff, there's just this skill sets and experience you have to have. And we definitely want to get into that. Help desk is a little easier because help desk is, it's really, sending out emails and escalating certain kind of issues to other people who can really handle things. It's almost like a customer service kind of position in certain kind of ways. Yes,
that's why I wanted to make sure to ask that because just speaking of what I think that's Nagon who was speaking just now is saying about realistic expectations. When I've called up to you guys before, like I have a YouTube channel where I discuss what you guys talk about. You know what I mean? I've incorporated onto my channel, right? And my point is that on my path getting my CompTIA A+ certification and whatnot, I share with my audience and so on and so forth. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because I've noticed on 2 occasions there were brothers that brought up, hey, you guys should get your AWS certification. And I'm noticing that it seems like they're only saying it because I believe it's cheaper. The AWS certification is like $125 versus like $300 for A+. You know what I mean? So I guess that goes to what you're saying about realistic expectations.
Well, the AWS is banking on the idea that you have previous experience in something else. If you look at the requirements for the certification, it kind of goes over that. So you get one cert for $125, but then you have to get the solution architect, and that's where all the real bread is, right?
That's right, Mike. That's
So
right.
you're going to be paying up the wazoo to get that type of stuff. And Amazon is not, AWS is not particularly friendly at hiring, even for people with certification. There's quite a few articles that I haven't shared here, but I've read a few articles the last 6 months about people who have all of the certifications and still having difficulty getting into Amazon. And so what happens here is that they become their own contractors and they work corp to corp. And that's how they just basically become their own renegades at this point. So
exactly.
I think it also depends on
become a solutions architect, solutions architecture,
Mm-hmm.
to really get, kind of butter laid in that. It's a little bit more than just, take a cert for that. You really have to have some good experience with this as well. So that's what they're kind of talking about. This is not really an entry level type of deal, and I'm going to call it out right now. That shit ain't entry level.
not entry level at all.
Well, the class
I think it also
the true entry level is help desk, fam.
The class is for solutions architect, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gabe.
That's all good. I was gonna say, I think it also depends on what your endpoint is going to be. Are you like, there typically isn't just, hey, I'm a cloud person. You're like a cloud engineer or a person who does networking in cloud or develops in the cloud. So just like they were saying, typically it goes hand in hand with some other skill set, which really makes you qualify for a lot of the roles out there, rather than just, hey, I just know cloud. That's not, I don't see a lot of roles in that.
Well, so when you say you just know cloud, so you're talking about a cloud generalist or a cloud specialist. That's usually the actual title. So we do have cloud specialists and cloud generalists around, but a generalist is more.
But they have those skill sets in those other areas too.
What other areas are that?
The ones that I just mentioned.
Yes and no to a certain extent, because when you're dealing with something like AWS or Azure, what happens here is that your role is basically is strict.
Services.
You may not have access to certain areas around the environment itself. You may just be narrowed down to just that one responsibility, and that's it. So.
And you got to be strong on the server side of the game as well. You got to understand that shit. And if you're not there, it's not gonna fly for you. There's a lot you got to put together. Once again, I'm gonna make it very simple. Mm-hmm. You want to get in simply on the ground floor. I'm gonna say it right here. We're gonna cut to the chase. Bottom line is you want to go in ground floor help desk. That's where you're at.
Yeah.
Okay. AWS. If you're not strong on the server side of the game, forget about it. It's not gonna happen. Not realistic. So let's cut that out. That's not an entry level spot for you.
Yeah,
I want to talk about that. Let's get in on kind of the help desk. Escalating calls and this kind of thing first. Get your A+. That kind of thing is kind of how you start out. Start learning some programming languages. SQL, the JavaScript. Okay, Python. Those are the joints you want to start playing with early on. All right, get skilled in that and start to build yourself up and start to walk like a man slowly from that. You crawling right now as a baby. You ain't coming in here running like no grown ass man. Ain't gonna happen. All right. So I'm just saying, that's it. I just want to put that out there. Whether folks don't like what I'm saying or not, it's not really important for that. That's what the truth is, and let's deal with that. All right.
I work in the security side of the cloud, and even my scope is very narrow. Like I can't see certain things because I'm not allowed to see certain things. So that's just the way how they structure it. I have a network engineer, sysadmin, several sysadmins who are inside AWS and Azure. They handle a lot of the high level stuff, and then my focus is strictly on security, and that's it. So I don't even see a whole lot of things that they do, and they don't see a whole lot of things that I do either. So we're very siloed in that respect. So keep that in mind. That depending on the size of the organization and some of the responsibilities that's entailed, that can determine your trajectory. Small organizations may force a person to take on more responsibilities, and then bigger organizations can definitely silo things out to create their own air gaps for personnel. So